Imagine you're a 10-year-old boy, scrubbing floors and sweeping streets to help your family make ends meet, yet every spare minute, you're dribbling a battered ball against a stone wall, dreaming of roaring stadiums. This was Cristiano Ronaldo's reality on the rough cobblestones of Funchal, Madeira. Most people believe that only children born into wealth can afford big ambitions, but Ronaldo's story shatters that myth. He shared a tiny room with 3 brothers, owned just one worn-out pair of boots, and yet woke before dawn to chase a vision that seemed impossible. While others given every advantage rested, he ran sprint drills in the rain, practiced free kicks under flickering streetlights, and studied professional players on a second-hand television. How did a boy from a humble island with nothing but hope and grit rise to rule the world's greatest stadiums? That conflict between crushing poverty and boundless ambition ignited a fire within him. It taught him that talent alone wasn't enough. It was the refusal to yield to hardship that would write his legend. In the next part, we'll follow Cristiano's daring leap from Madeira's streets to Europe's elite, uncovering the moments that forged his unbreakable spirit. When Cristiano turned 11, he carried only a small bag and a huge dream. He left Madeira for Lisbon. Arriving at Sporting CP's academy, he felt both excited and afraid. The city's streets buzzed with buses, trams, and people speaking so fast that at first he understood almost nothing. He traded the ocean breeze for cold mornings in a tiny dorm room. He shared his bed with a boy he barely knew, waking each day to the sound of distant traffic instead of his brother's laughter. Before dawn, Cristiano would slip out into the chilly air. He laced his boots in silence and stepped onto the wet grass. He placed a single, worn ball at his feet and began his routine. Dribble around orange cones set in a line, zigzag through them until his thighs burned. Then shoot again and again from different spots, just inside the box, just outside the box, with his left foot, then with his right. When rain fell, he shifted his drills under an open shelter, letting the drops beat on his back, while he kept his focus, day after day. He repeated the same exercises until he knew every movement by heart. At school, life was hard. In Madeira, his accent sounded normal, but in Lisbon, it made him stand out. He would freeze in class when the teacher asked a question. Other children sometimes laughed when he said a word wrong. He felt lonely, missing his mother's cooking and his home's warmth. Yet, every afternoon, he returned to the field, determined not to let embarrassment slow him down. He watched older players train, studying how they curved the ball, how they faked a pass, how they moved without the ball. He asked coaches for tiny tips: how to bend his knees before a sprint, how to time his run to meet a cross, how to control the ball with just one touch. By the time he was 14, Cristiano had grown stronger and more confident. He earned a place on Sporting's youth team, playing in small stadiums packed with proud parents and curious scouts. Each match, he wore a bright green and white jersey and felt the roar of a crowd that believed in him. He scored goals with a fearless shot and a quick turn that left defenders behind. In one match, he ran from the halfway line, dribbling past 3 opponents, and powered a strike into the top corner. That goal showed everyone that this boy was special. When he was 16, fate brought him face to face with Manchester United. Sporting played a friendly match against the English giants, and Cristiano's performance stunned Sir Alex Ferguson. Just weeks later, he found himself on a plane to Manchester. He traded Lisbon's mild winters for grey skies and sharp wines. The language was new again, but he learned English by watching movies, lining up subtitles, and talking with teammates. He added gym workouts to his daily drills, lifting weights to build strength and doing sprints to sharpen his speed. He practiced free kicks until midnight, striking the ball over a wall of shoes in his room if he could not reach a proper target. In his first season at Old Trafford, Cristiano faced fierce competition from world-class players. He missed some chances in early matches and felt the weight of high expectations, but he did not give up. He woke early to train, ran extra laps after team practice, and stayed late to work on his headers. Gradually, his efforts paid off. He scored his first goal for Manchester United with a powerful shot from outside the box. The stadium erupted, and he felt a rush of joy, proof that hard work can rewrite any beginning. By the end of that season, he had helped United capture the Premier League title. A year later, he lifted the Champions League trophy as part of the team that beat Chelsea in a thrilling final. Fans chanted CR7 in unison, and he smiled, knowing he had earned their respect. Yet, even at the peak of his success, Cristiano remained focused on one thing: the next challenge. His journey from a lonely boy in Lisbon to a rising star in Manchester shows that when passion meets discipline, dreams can cross any ocean and conquer every stadium. Cristiano's defining battles came when everything was on the line. In 2016, Portugal had never won a major tournament, yet all eyes were on them at the European Championship in France. In the very first match, Ronaldo sprinted down the wing and clashed with an opponent. He fell hard and grabbed his knee in pain. The stadium fell silent as he limped off the field with tears in his eyes. Millions watched at home, fearing their hero's dream was over. But Ronaldo refused to let injury win. From the sidelines, he led his team with words and spirit. He hobbled into the locker room before each game, whispering words of hope to his teammates. He clapped and shouted encouragement, making every player believe they could lift a trophy for him. Even though he could not play again, his presence was a spark. Portugal fought fiercely, finding strength in his courage. In the final against France, they scored a late goal to win 1-0. As the whistle blew, Ronaldo, on crutches, limped onto the pitch and lifted the trophy high. His smile through pain taught the world that heart can beat stronger than injury. At club level, his greatest tests came night after night in the Champions League. After 6 years with Manchester United, he moved to Real Madrid in 2009 for a world record fee. He faced critics who said he was just a showman, not a true leader. In Spain's top stadium Santiago Bernabeu, Camp Nou, he heard boos and snide chants. But with every goal, he silenced doubt. He practiced free kicks for hours until they flew over the wall with perfect curl. He jumped higher than any defender to head home crosses. The 2017 Champions League final against Juventus became Ronaldo's crowning moment. Juve had stopped him before, but this night was different. In front of 80,000 fans, he rose above the crowd to head in the first goal, a strike as precise as a surgeon's cut. Then, just before halftime, he bent a free kick around the wall and into the top corner. The net rippled, the crowd roared, and Ronaldo threw his head back, arms wide, his CE celebration echoing across Europe. Real Madrid won 4-1, and Ronaldo stood tall as the match's hero. Even after these triumphs, he kept raising the bar. In September 2017, he became the first player ever to score 100 goals in Champions League history. Cameras captured him on the turf, tears of joy mingling with sweat, as he knelt and thanked the heavens. Yet he spent the next morning back in training, plotting new records. Beyond the pitch, his battles were no less dramatic. In December 2017, devastating wildfires ripped through his native Portugal. Ronaldo flew home at once and donated a full month's salary to aid victims. He visited hospitals, sat by children on gurneys, and signed jerseys with a gentle smile. His toughest moments, injury, pressure, tragedy, shaped not just a champion, but a leader with a lion's heart. These trials, tears on the bench, triumphs in giant stadiums, world records, and acts of kindness form the climax of Ronaldo's journey. They show that true greatness is won through pain, perseverance, and a refusal to yield. Cristiano Ronaldo's story doesn't end when the final whistle blows. It continues in every fresh goal, every record shattered, and every life he touches off the pitch. After lifting trophies and earning Ballon d'Or awards, he returned each morning to the training ground with the same hunger he had as a boy from Madeira. He knew that glory is never final, and that champions are defined by what they do when the world is watching and also when it isn't. Beyond his athletic feats, Cristiano built a legacy of giving. He funded pediatric hospitals, supported education programs in underprivileged communities, and used his platform to raise millions for disaster relief. When he scored that historic 100th Champions League goal, he dedicated it to young players everywhere, saying, "This is proof that hard work can rewrite any story." His own journey from sweeping streets to ruling stadiums became a beacon for anyone who has ever felt held back by circumstance. He showed that mental strength matters as much as physical prowess. After every setback, a missed penalty, a tough defeat, or a serious injury, he demonstrated humility in victory and resilience in recovery. He turned criticism into motivation, transforming doubts into fuel for improvement. His meticulous attention to diet, sleep, and recovery made him an icon of longevity in a sport where careers often fade early. At an age when many athletes retire, Ronaldo still scans the horizon for new challenges, eager to push the limits of what seems possible. Yet perhaps his greatest triumph is the community he inspired. From cheering fans in packed arenas to children playing barefoot in distant villages, his image reminds us that greatness can spring from modest beginnings. He encouraged young people to set audacious goals, to embrace discipline, and to believe that every small effort compounds into lasting success. Whether through his signature celebration CE, echoing around the world, or through a simple act of kindness, Cristiano's influence transcends football. It reaches the core of what it means to aspire and to achieve. As we close this chapter, remember that your own journey is waiting. Every dream begins with a single step, every achievement with an unwavering choice to keep going. Cristiano Ronaldo's life teaches us that no obstacle is too great and no background too humble to prevent a remarkable story from unfolding. I have 3 special questions for you. What part of Cristiano Ronaldo's journey resonates with you the most, and why? Which of his habits, early morning training, strict discipline, or charitable giving, will you try to adopt in your own life? How will you turn a personal challenge into an opportunity for growth?
If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me make more stories for you.